Joining us now on the line is Marc Savitt, congressional candidate for Virginia's 10th Congressional District. He is also the president of the National Association of Independent Housing Professionals. He wants to be the next congressman to replace Frank Wolf. Marc, thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right, so tell us why your particular area of expertise would make you a good congressman.
Well, let's look what happened starting in 2007. We had a housing crisis that was almost to the same proportions that we had in the late 1920s, early 30s with the Depression. The housing values dropped significantly, and we saw a lot of wealth eroded from this country. We saw people losing their homes in record numbers, and that is something that I think we could very well possibly have again because of overregulation caused by the Dodd-Frank Act. So I think for that aspect of the economy, I think I'm the perfect candidate to replace Frank Wolf.
And what would be the area of expertise you would seek out on Capitol Hill were you to be elected? Like what committee, for example, would you like to serve on?
Well, usually you serve on more than one committee. I would like to have Financial Services Committee and also the Small Business Committee. Small business is the backbone of this country. They're responsible for approximately 65% of all the jobs created in this country. I've been a small business owner for 30 years. I've created jobs. Same company, weathered all the storms, 4 recessions, and been the brunt of what's come out of Washington. So I think the best people to go to Congress to fix what's wrong are the people that are on Main Street.
Marc Savitt's our guest. He's running for Congress in the 10th District. We're trying to get to all of the candidates in the Republican actually, we'd like to get to all the candidates, but the Democrats tend to not want to come and talk to us, and I don't know why.
I don't know.
But the Republicans for running for the nomination are here. Marc, let me ask you this. Undoubtedly, if you do get this seat, you're going to have to cast a vote on immigration reform. This is something that the Senate is pushing, the President's pushing, and there's been noise from the Speaker, John Boehner, that he's at least going to take up portions of immigration reform. Where do you stand on where it seems to be headed, which could have some level of amnesty for those who have entered the country illegally?
Well, back in 1986, when Ronald Reagan was president, we, as a country, the government, gave amnesty to 3 million illegal aliens. And at that time, they said no more. Well, no more means no more. We have a lot of people that come to this country the right way. And I think we do, well, let me back up a little bit. We're a country of laws. And if we don't follow those laws, more individuals will start breaking those laws if we look the other way. That's what's happening with immigration. The very first thing we need to do with immigration is secure our borders. And my concern is obviously individuals coming across the border illegally, but what types of individuals? You know, the family coming over for a better life, although we're sympathetic, they still have to do it the right way. But the bigger concern is if they're coming across the border so easily, what about the terrorists coming across the border that mean to do us harm and bringing weapons of mass destruction with them? So what we need to do is first secure the border. The second thing that we need to do is not grant amnesty because it does a disservice to the people that came over here legally. And, you know, I want to add, guys, it's not just people coming across the border illegally. We have people that come to this country, work visas, student visas. They overstay the allowable time,
right?
And we're basically doing nothing to go after them. We need to do that.
So let me just follow up really quickly. What do you do? Some estimates are 11 million, 12 million, 13 million. It's a whole lot of people in this country. They're here illegally. How do you fix it? What do you do with those people?
Well, first of all, it's anywhere between 12 and 20 million. And keep in mind, they also have created or contributed to an underground economy of $2 trillion. So it's a lot of taxes we're losing as well. What I would do is no amnesty. You're not going to be able to send everybody back, but we have to start making an effort to do that. So I'm completely opposed to any amnesty.
All right, so let's really get down to brass tacks here. You want to be nominated before you can run for the general election. So you're up against people like Barbara Comstock, a Delegate Bob Marshall, Howie Lynn. So tell me what it is that makes you better than them. What is it that you have that they don't have?
Well, I have Main Street experience, as I said before. I've also been on Capitol Hill for 15 years as an advocate for small business and for consumers. What the others are talking about doing if they get to Washington, I've already been doing for 15 years. I've testified before Congress 10 times. I testified before the Financial Crisis Inquiry Commission. I have a seat at the table. I just need a seat on the other side of the table. I've gone up against all the people that they're talking about. I've pushed back against all the people that my opponents are talking about that have caused a lot of problems in our economy and with our government in general. So I'm the guy with the experience. They may have some state experience, and they may have worked for Washington or worked in Washington for the government. I've never worked for the government. I've worked for the people, not as a lobbyist. I didn't get paid for what I did. So I'm already up there doing what everybody else wants to do.
You say your top issue is jobs. As a congressman, what would you propose to do to make more jobs available to people who need them?
Well, I have a program that we're rolling out that's called America Works, and it involves unemployment. When someone's on unemployment, they get paid a minimum of 26 weeks. They can't work. They can't go to school. They're supposed to be out looking for a job. Most people today that lose their job have to find some other type of field. For example, if somebody doesn't have computer skills, what do? Most jobs require it. So what if we changed unemployment where 20 hours a week you could work an apprenticeship in somebody's office or company? It wouldn't cost the employer any money. You wouldn't be paid by them because you're being paid unemployment. Or you could go back to school for up to 20 hours a week and learn computer skills or learn some type of another occupation to make yourself more employable. So I think that's where we need to start.
And today, as you heard us discussing, we're going to have a Congressman Jim Jordan coming up in the next hour to talk about these contempt charges against Lois Lerner. If you were asked as a congressman to vote whether Lois Lerner has held Congress in contempt over the IRS scandal, how would you vote?
I would say that she's in contempt. As a matter of fact, when she first testified last year, I happened to be in the hearing room. I was attending another hearing, and I had some time, and I went in and I listened to that. But, if you take Benghazi and you take the IRS, I think the House Oversight Committee has done a tremendous job, but I also think they've gone as far as they can go. What needs to be done, and Speaker Boehner has the authority to do this, we're well beyond putting a panel together of House and Senate. We need to go to a special prosecutor on this. That's what I would call for.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us.